Today I'm going to be reviewing Leviathan Wakes, book number 1 in the science fiction space opera series The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. You can see it right there. By way of introduction, I'm Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. This is my book review channel, my music review channel. Today we're doing Leviathan Wakes, which I think is one of the best new space opera series going. And I think it's going to be a classic in the genre as time goes on and all the volumes have been written and everything's said and done. Great book, great series altogether. And as you know, Leviathan Wakes and the subsequent volumes were made into a science fiction series by the Sci-Fi Channel called The Expanse. And, that went for 2 or 3 years, and then Amazon.com picked the series up, and now it is being put out by Amazon. And so it's the series is still running and going well. So if you don't want to read the books, you can always just Google The Expanse, watch the TV show. Just so you know, James S.A. Corey is the pseudonym for 2 different writers, Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham. They teamed up to write these books. Normally, I do not like reading collaborations. I don't. But in this case, they're great books. They're great books. I got to put aside my prejudice against collaborations and say, hey man, these 2 guys, they know what they're doing. These are great books, and I'm going to give favorable review to Leviathan Wakes. But let me tell you kind of what it's about. If you love space opera, if you love Star Trek, Star Wars, that kind of thing, this is right up your alley. The Expanse TV show, it's got different characters based on the novels. I will say that I love the novels more than the TV show, but that's kind of typical of anyone who loves novels and they make their favorite novels into TV shows. The novels are just better. I pictured some of the characters a little differently in the novels than showed up on the TV show, but that's okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's just talk about what is The Expanse. What is Leviathan Wakes, the first book in the series, about? Well, like I said, it's a space opera, sort of like Star Wars, Star Trek, Guardians of the Galaxy. Only they take this one a little more seriously. It's set within our own solar system in the not-so-distant future from now, where, Mars has become a superpower. The UN is still in control of things on Earth, and there's an asteroid belt. There's outer rim territories. There's the outer planets. All the planets seem to have little colonies around them, and that's kind of where the bulk of the action takes place, was just within our own solar system. And we have not discovered aliens yet. There's no alien creatures. There's just it's humans dealing with what humans would deal with once we expand out beyond Earth into our galaxy and start populating other planets and building huge space stations and mining asteroids and all that stuff. It's all great. I mean, this series is full of so many grand ideas, and it starts out sort of on this small scale within our own universe here, within our own galaxy. No, within our own solar system. It starts out within our own solar system here. I won't spoil anything for the later books. This is a spoiler-free review, but let's just say in the later books things do expand beyond our solar system. But for Leviathan Wakes, we stay right here with a group of characters that are fascinating. Great characters. Let's talk about the Ice Hauler. We start off with, and I'm just going to give a general starting point. I believe that you need to read through the book to get all of the plot surprises and the twists and turns. So I'm just going to set it up basically here. But we've got an ice hauling ship called the Canterbury that we start out on, with a crew of pretty interesting characters. You've got Jem Holden, the captain of the ship, Naomi Nagata, Amos Burton, Alex Kamal, Shed Garney. There's a bunch of people on the ship that are running this ice hauling ship, and they run across an abandoned ship, or what looks to be an abandoned ship, and they discover a secret there, and I won't tell you what that secret is, because I believe that that's part of the joy of reading these books, is finding out the secrets as you go. But they discover a secret on that abandoned ship, which sets the solar system and the powers that be into complete turmoil and lots of political intrigue, lots of space battles, lots of ships blowing up, lots of um, just great things going on. As a side plot to the main story, we've also got on a place called Tycho Station, no, Ceres Station, I believe it's called. Ceres, there's a bunch of space stations in this. Ceres stations, we've got one of my favorite characters, which is Miller, who is a detective, kind of like a hard-boiled, old-timey, noirish detective who he's been charged with finding the missing daughter of a very important and wealthy diplomat, and she's gone missing. And so we find him doing his detective stuff uh, amongst all the space opera stuff. And so it's kind of a mishmash of detective story, space opera, but it all comes together and everything ties together in the end wonderfully, by the way. Wonderfully. But I really liked the detective. And let's talk about some of the characters. Let's talk, since I'm holding up the DVDs of the series, of the Expanse series. But this is, I don't know which volume of the DVDs is, but the first set of DVDs, about 12 episodes, covers most of Leviathan Wakes. And I gotta say, Thomas Jane, the guy that they got to play the detective, thumbs up, nails it, nails the part. Everybody else in the story, everybody else that's cast really nails it also. However, I was disappointed in the guy that they cast as Holden, the captain of the ice hauler ship. Man, not charismatic to me, just dull. I thought they could have cast somebody better. Apologize to the actor if he sees this reviews. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. Good actor, just wrong for the part. Kind of one of the disappointing things to me about the series was just that one miscasting that I thought was not done well. They just needed a guy with more gravitas, a guy with a stronger jaw and a more powerful presence. And they kind of got a wimp, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a big guy and I'm not scared of him at all. Not scared of him. He could mouth off to me and I'd just be like, get out of here, you know. But you need an actor that could have beefed up that part a little bit. Enough about that. Let's talk about the actual book. One of the things I loved about the book is it's set in the not too distant future, so there's still a lot of things that kind of our own world now that are kind of incorporated into the story. Which one of the things I liked is the religious aspect, where the Mormon Church in this book, they have built the largest, most gigantic spaceship ever built. And they call it the Nauvoo. And it's a generational ship where every Mormon is going to get on it and set off into space. Just set off into space because they're sick of Earth. They're sick of the things. They want to find their new Garden of Eden somewhere out there amongst the universe. And so they've got this generational ship that's just humongous. And it's going to fit every Mormon. And they're going to just set sail into the universe. And there we go. And it's kind of awesome. It's the awesomest ship in the story. And I won't, no spoilers, but man, I love what happens with that ship. I love it. So this series is packed with so many ideas that I just loved it. I mean, you got aliens. Is there aliens? Are we dealing with aliens? We don't know if we're dealing with aliens. We've got Mars with Mars has become a powerhouse of its own, a sort of a solar system power along with Earth, and the United Nations is involved. And they kind of suck here. They suck in the future as much as they suck now, to be honest with you. And there's the Outer Rim, the Outer Planets terrorists group that we've got terrorists now. They've got terrorists in the future. Organized crime, they've got police officers, they've got starship captains, they've got religious leaders that are fanatics. So many ideas and so many plot threads running through the story of Leviathan Wakes. It's just great. It's a super, super fantastic setup to the whole series. And it's a classic science fiction novel in its own right. And the series as a whole is fantastic. And I will be reviewing those also coming up, each one in turn. And so I cannot recommend Leviathan Wakes enough. probably if you watched my top 30 science fiction novels of all time, you notice that these things finished high in that ranking. I love them. I love them. Solid 9 out of 10 for the Leviathan Wakes, the opening book in the Expanse series. Or you can just go get the movie The Expanse and watch it. The DVDs.